when you feel so disconnected for so long, it's really hard to really look at what your life is like from a core level and the reality of sit down, the reality of what's going on in your life. And sometimes it's not so easy to how can I put it? I haven't rehearsed this video, so I want to just say it from my heart. And you know, a lot of people that I've been crying, a lot of the people that follow me are family and friends, and people that do know me personally as well. And the thing that's come up for me, and it's not only me, and the reason why I've now decided to share more is because it's not just me going through all this stuff. There is so much change and switching of energy in the world at the moment with all the business going on for us overseas in Europe, and just so much change and anger and sadness and death and life, birthing new life as well. I've thought what it would be like to bring a really young one. I mean, my girls are teenagers, but a really young one into the world, you know, today, now, if I'd given birth today, how I would feel with everything that's, you know, going on. But I wanted to talk about families, actually, and connection and disconnection of families, and functioning and malfunctioning families. And, you know, I personally come from a divorced family. I don't know my parents together. I was very young when they decided not to be together. We had they had a time in their life when my older brother and myself were very young. We had a younger brother who died, and growing up, it was interesting. Growing up, we didn't talk about him much. Didn't talk about him at all. There were a couple of photos of him. He was very young. He was only 3. And he died of an aneurysm. And whereas nowadays, I'm pretty sure we can detect them. Back then, you couldn't. So that was a long time ago. I was 4 and my older brother was 5. And I think that's the ages we were. And then, you know, my parents had stuff going on too. They had their own stuff going on about the grief of losing a child. Their marriage then disconnected. It totally was in malfunction mode. You know, I've spoken to both my parents about it over the years. They might even both see this video as well. And, you know, whilst a lot of details will remain private, I think it's really important to strike up a conversation about families and functioning and malfunctioning families. My older brother and I haven't always had the closest relationship at all. I lived overseas for many years, and both in the UK and South Africa, and lived in Thailand for a year as well. So my brother and I, he's 14 months older than me, and my brother and I haven't, I guess, been able to have a connection with each other, and it has been a very disconnected brother-sister relationship. And the older we get, we're both in our 50s, mid-50s now, and, you know, we're starting to connect just a little bit, listen, little bits now, when our kids, he's got a daughter, and our kids they get along really well. I adore his daughter, and he's a beautiful partner, and she's actually a little bit of the catalyst for us reconnecting, and which has been terrific. We've been to a couple of family functions, we've had birthdays, and we actually have a stepsister, of which my brother has been closer to over the years. With the malfunction of another family marriage, my stepsister and I haven't been close for over 20 years, which not for lack of me wanting, it's just been the way it is, and I miss her terribly. She was in our lives for a short while the last couple of years, but it was almost a bit of an odd relationship. I haven't seemed to work it out just yet. But anyway, I probably seem like I'm going around in circles a bit here, but I just wanted to start the ball rolling so you could think about your families and what your families, family isn't just blood for me. And, it can mean a lot of really lovely, perfectly aligned friendships as well, not just the blood. But blood to me is very important as well. So what I've come up, because I love coming up with ideas, so today I thought of creating an event called the Bloodline, and it's where you and say you have a partner, and you've got your family behind you, which is blood. They've got their family behind them, which is blood, and then you've got our kids and their partners, and they've got their partners have their families behind them and their blood, and creating like a nice, a long lunch table where we are all connected in some way, so everybody in the room has some blood connection. And I thought that would be such a great event to strike up. And I know online it wouldn't have the same feel, but in person, can you imagine the kind of lunch get together? Like, you would just have an amazing time. You make it an event and you just have it in one room and share the food and the wine and the love and the good times. So I'm really I guess excited for the next chapter in my life regards to family. My parents are up there in age, and I'm very fortunate that I've got them still around. Not everybody does, and I know lots of people miss the family that they don't have around anymore. But I'm feeling more peaceful with my own family connections, and it's good. I've had an up and down relationship with my mum. I've had a varied relationship with my dad as well. Our family connection was what it was, and it still is what it is. So, but I just thought it might be good to start airing this, and for all of us in this community, if you're following me, we could start talking about it. So, and it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to cry about it, to laugh with it and have fun and peace in your heart, or some pain in your heart still. But I think it's really worth trying to get it out there and talk about it. So peace and love, and I'll see you soon.